get a fresh look at James Gunn's next big team-up movie. Tony Hawk makes the leap to next gen. And I share my thoughts on Invincible in the newest episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. All that and the latest in everything cool today in The Rundown. Welcome to The Rundown, everybody. We're going to have a fantastic show today. Thank you all for joining us. Today's episode is dedicated to Goku, who was first in the room for this episode of The Rundown Live. We are starting to do The Rundown as a live show every once in a while, so if you can tune in and be a part of the community and watch the show that way, it's a lot of fun. And the people watching are always incredible, like Jordan Cunningham and the VR Grid. I've got Harrison Biggity in there, Hip Hop Dan, Blair Farrell, Peter Kokasar, Nicholas Denslow. Looking forward to my thoughts on Invincible. Yes, today we're going to be talking about all kinds of fun things. But first, I think it's time to talk about James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Now, this is not meant for little kids. This is a red band trailer, so if you've got any kids watching this, but Warner Brothers released a first look at what James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is going to be like, and it's pretty darn hilarious. Of course, we've got Amanda Waller's victims getting bombs implanted into their necks, and then they're sent out on a mission. They're undercover, except for Peacemaker, who I think one of the characters says looks like he's got a toilet bowl on his head, and all kinds of insane, all kinds of crazy things happen, like King Shark having to eat some of his victims. I imagine if you are King Shark, you get hungry a lot, right? We get a nice view of the incredible cast in this movie. There are tons of different actors in this film. It's hard to keep track of everybody. We've got Peter Capaldi there as the Thinker with all these things in his head. And I think King Shark really kind of steals the show. He's in so many of the shots. And this is just a really wonderful look at the insanity that James Gunn has kind of put together. This whole idea of assembling supervillains to handle, missions that are maybe too dangerous or too deadly for regular superheroes is just such a great idea. There's lots of great character work in this show. We're gonna see King Shark in all of his CG glory. I think this movie is just going to be a total blast. It comes out on August 6th, so we've got a little bit of a wait to until we can go and see this either in the theaters, and it's also release day and date on HBO Max. I don't know what that is going to mean for Canadian viewers out there, but I think that this is going to be a sensational experience with lots of incredible moments. And James Gunn has been pretty vocal about the amount of effort that he has put into the production. There is a tremendous amount of practical effects in here, and just his patented sense of humor is just so darn fun. Really looking forward to checking out the brand new The Suicide Squad when it comes out later this summer. Something else that I'm excited about is the fact that Tony Hawk has hit next generation. He is, I just downloaded this to the PlayStation 5. If you've got this and it looks beautiful, my daughter's actually already jumped on and started to make one of the skate parks that you can customize in there. She customized her character, and everything is just super fluid and beautiful, and the music was just, filling the room as I was working on all this footage for today. But this is the trailer, and for those that already have this on the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation or PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, you can upgrade for free. I believe it's free on Xbox. Actually, I haven't checked that, but it is free on the PlayStation 5, which is really good. It's a very good move. And this game is just a total blast. Let's hope that Activision has sold enough of these things that we're going to get 2+3. That would be amazing. So that is available today. That's just a little note for everybody out there right now. Have you played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2? I sure hope you have. It's a phenomenal game. I also got a trailer for a cool-looking new game from Devolver, which is called Death's Door. And this one, it looks like a ton of fun. It's very noir. You play as a crow in this kind of world of crows running everything, and it's got kind of like this pulpy detective sensibility. You have to go and collect souls, and it's very moody, it's very evocative, it's very dark, almost black and white. But you can see the little crow character that you play has got a sword, and you're going to get into, some interesting kinds of scenarios dealing with all of these bird folk that are smoking. Don't smoke if you're a young bird out there. Don't do it. It's very bad for your health. But I just love the setup here. It's a really, really well put together trailer, and I hope that the gameplay kind of does this experience justice. It looks like it's going to be a total blast. I love Devolver. I don't know what it is about that company, but they just have this unbelievable, taste. They're tastemakers at Devolver. They are very choosy with the products that they publish, and because they are, we all benefit. They find these quirky, obscure kind of games and developers, and they find a way to kind of bring them out and celebrate them in some pretty cool ways. And I think that this Death's Door game, it kind of signifies that. I mean, look at this thing. It just looks amazing. So it's got some of the action that we're kind of, somewhat expecting out of a Devolver experience, but there's also all of this layered story, this kind of noir, kind of gothic kind of sensibility to all of this. I can't wait for this. This looks like a ton of fun. And the other thing that I wanted to put into this show, obviously, I've been watching a lot of superhero television over the last little while. I checked out the first 3 episodes of Invincible, which Amazon was kind enough to release last night on Amazon's Prime Video service. This is an incredibly gory show, Ruby. You shouldn't be watching this if you are watching this anywhere. But it's an animated show with which looks like kind of like a DC Comics movie, or even a Saturday morning cartoon. And honestly, when I was watching the show, it really kind of reminded me of a lot of classic Justice League episodes that I've seen, or old Batman cartoons. And there are some incredibly cool superheroics in the show. And of course, there's a lot of allusions, especially to DC Comics heroes. There's the Global Guardians, which is made up of a bunch of tropes, a bunch of types that you would see in the DC Comics verse. They've got their own kind of version of Batman, their own version of the Martian Manhunter, their own version of Superman and Wonder Woman. And it's really interesting to, reflect on that, especially so soon after the Justice League, the Snyder Cut, and how just incredibly iconic the Justice League characters are, that you can transpose them and give them different costumes, but you can immediately recognize who they are in this show. And, what happens in this series is that tragedy befalls a lot of people that you are invested in, start to care about, think are cool. This is a show with many, many twists and turns, just like the comic series that it's based on. And I think one of the things for me is that, I had read the comic series. So I've been watching the show, waiting for beats to happen, and I can't remember every single thing because it's been a few years since I've read the early books of Invincible, which blew me away. Robert Kirkman, who also crafted The Walking Dead, is responsible for this series, and it's an amazing story. It's an incredible story, and it transposes really well to animation. But I am watching it with this kind of, wondering when the big surprises are going to come. When are the big shockers and the big reveals going to come? And they do come, and it's a little less shocking for me, And it also feels like the show is a little bit fashioned for those moments as well. Like we're going to get some big, super massive story shocker in every episode, which is kind of how you frame a TV show anyways. But if you've already got some kind of sense of where we're going on this journey, it removes a little bit of that surprise. So that's the only thing that I kind of regret going into Invincible. I'm actually incredibly envious of those adult people that are watching this show, because, oh my God, I nearly got sick to my stomach with some of the sequences. I discovered that I'm not into the idea of heads just being completely pulverized. Whether I watch that on a show like The Walking Dead or even an animated form, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't sit well with me. And you watch, and there are moments where it's just like, oh, they went all that way. Oh my goodness. And it's something that we don't normally see in animation. which I guess is refreshing. But I think one of the things that's, also taking a little bit of the air out of the balloon is that The Boys has been doing this now for a couple of seasons so effectively, and to a lesser extent, the Umbrella Academy has been doing a really good job with that too. That kind of dissection of the superhero myth, and showing some of the darker sides of what these superpowers could mean in reality, or a created reality. And The Boys is phenomenal. I would put The Boys above what Invincible is, and I also feel like Invincible in animated form is almost like animated storyboards for what could potentially be a live-action Invincible film. Inevitably will, because I think this show is going to be incredibly successful. And the truth is, most people haven't read the books. Most people don't know this story at all, and it is going to be one surprise after another. So honestly, at this point, I would recommend, if you haven't read the books, don't watch the show and then read the books later, because I know that some paths are going to diverse and stuff. But I'm in. I'm definitely watching the rest of the season, and I'll report back with some thoughts on Invincible episode 4 on. I really enjoyed the first 3 episodes. Was not shocked, other than by how much violence they're getting away with in these cartoons. And they're very well made, and the actors are amazing. Like Walton Goggins is in there, and J.K. Simmons is the father, and Stephen Yeun is the is Mark. Mark Grayson, great superhero name. All of the cast, Zazie Beetz, everybody is really, really good, and it's fun kind of picking it out. And the interesting thing with Amazon Prime Video is they have this X-ray feature where you can click on I watch on an Apple TV, you click on the Apple TV remote, and all of the different cast members will pop up for a second, so it's kind of fun to kind of spot the voices, which is pretty cool. But something I have to be honest that I enjoyed even more was The Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 2, which I watched this morning, and my God, it was fun. Oh, it's such a great show. I'm really loving it. I love that it evokes the Captain America and the Winter Soldier movie. There's kind of this intrigue. I love that we start to get to know this new Captain America in this episode, who honestly doesn't seem like that bad of a guy. He seems like he's got good intentions. We see a little bit of his backstory, which I thought was cool. Of course, we see a ton of the interplay and the dialogue and the back and forth between Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I saw one of my friends on Facebook kind of summed it all up like, this is 48 Hours with superpowers. 48 Hours, the old Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte film, where the two were bickering and at odds for the entirety of the movie, but they got stuff done. It's kind of a little bit like that in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but the scenes are great. There's some awesome action. I love this scene where Sam Wilson is telling Bucky Barnes it's got to be one of the big 3, androids, aliens, or sorcerers, and Bucky Barnes has no idea what he's talking about. There's some really great beats. It's a bit of a shame that some of these pieces have been released as trailers, but that's the way it goes, right? All of the information is out there if you want to dig in. I again envy the people that are watching this and they're just shocked and they're just surprised. But I actually like the performance of this new Captain America, who has inherited the shield and is just well trained and a good soldier, and then he is just trying to win the favor of the Falcon and the Winter. He wants them all to be a part of the team. I liked all of those elements. I also liked the first conflict with the Flag Smashers group was really exciting. They did another thrilling action sequence in there. I thought that was really cool. And the anger that these guys have to this new Captain America is just wonderful as well. They play that really well as well. It was a great second episode. I'm really looking forward to seeing where they take it from here. We have clearly got more supervillainry to see, and I'm sure there's a lot of what we've seen in these first 2 episodes is a lot of the stuff that's in these trailers, which is pretty cool. That means that there's tons of great big surprises that are in store for us, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see where this road takes us. But so far, I'm loving this season, and it's not just all action, like we're really starting to get to know who these characters are, just like we did with WandaVision. These are really cool character moments, and and character studies and character stories, which I really like. And, something else that happened not too long ago, which is pretty cool, around the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Disney is well aware that I'm a big fan of the show, and they offered me a chance to interview one of the stars of the show, Georges St-Pierre.
Hi, Victor.
How are you?
Good, yourself?
Very good. Congratulations on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What was it like to receive the call from Marvel that you were being brought back into the MCU?
Well, it's a dream come true for me. I've been a fan of the franchise for a very, very long time, since I'm a kid. And when I did the Captain America, the Winter Soldier, I was mainly focusing on my career as a mixed martial art competitor. But I took my retirement of the competition 2 years ago, and a few months after they called, so the timing was just perfect.
That's awesome. Are you ever going to wear the purple and gold outfit of Batroc, do you think?
Well, everything is possible. I think there's a little bit of a difference between my character in the comic book and the one in the movie. I think they perhaps wanted to portray me more as a ruthless guy. In the comic book, he's kind of he's kind of a funny guy, but he's not really doesn't take him seriously. In the movie, he's a really ruthless guy, and he's a very dangerous person, and he loves to fight. He loves violence. He's a mercenary, but he doesn't ask himself before doing anything or going to take on a mission if what he does it's good or bad. He just do it for the money, and he doesn't care. He's a very, very ruthless guy.
What's it like to be in one of the most thrilling action sequences ever in a television show? I mean, it was ridiculous how much stuff is going on in that scene.
It was amazing. The choreography and everything. I have the chance to work with the best. Like the whole thing, the Disney, Marvel, the whole franchise. This doesn't get bigger than this. And sure. That's for the reason now it's been 2 years that I'm working very hard on my acting. Every week I'm having acting classes, camera classes, theater classes, also English classes, in order to improve and be able to deliver for the fans.
That's wonderful. You have this really crazy close quarters fight with the Falcon. Talk about that and maybe some of the things that you had to consider, because obviously you bring all of this professional experience and lots to draw on, but nobody wants to get hurt in a situation like that. Although I think Anthony Mackie got punched in the face.
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate and it's my fault, because when you fight for real and when you fight for the camera is very different. And people think that when you fight, because it's a choreography, it's not dangerous. It could be very dangerous.
Sure.
The thing is, everything is planned ahead of time. And when something is planned, you've been doing it for a long time, for hours, you repeat. And sometimes you plan that the reaction of your partner will be the same as the one previously. But what happens sometimes is when someone, change their reaction, and it happened, I was throwing a punch and he was supposed to duck, but Anthony has a lot on his plate, all the line, he has to remember all the choreography, plus it was a very long day, that particular day, and he has to wear a suit that make him sweat like crazy.
Suit with wings too, which just blows me away. He's got a fight with wings. It's insane. Yes,
on top of that. So I threw a punch and he went under, and when he went under, he didn't go down, and I didn't have the time to pull my punch fast enough. So I cut him on the elbow, and he's really a tough guy. And I was making joke after, we were laughing about it, and I told him, I said, Anthony, you're the only human being in my life that I've hit and that I have more damage, because after I hit him, I think I cut him on the part of my elbow where the nerves are, and my hand was numb for a few minutes. And I told him, I said, man, I don't know what you're made of. You're made of steel. You're a true superhero. It's amazing.
That's awesome. Now, all the actors and all the stunt performers in that sequence are wearing these wingsuits, and they're diving and jumping all over the place. Have you ever done that? And what do you think about the whole idea of wingsuits?
Well, I put on the wingsuit. I've jumped off the plane. But the plane was on the ground and it was a crash mat where I land. I didn't do it in mid-air. The people who did that, they're professional. And having incredible, great stunt people, it's like I've been told it's like a secret weapon in the movie business. You know, it's like, because these guys, they make us look great. You know, a lot of the stuff, I'm a professional fighter, you know, like I've done a lot of things I do in fighting. I've done it for real. But this is choreography stuff. It's a different things. And there's a lot of stuff I cannot even perform myself. So I need a stunt double in order to do it. So if you remember one of the fight scene, again, when Batroc fought Steve Rogers, there's a part of the scene that the Batroc is doing a bunch of flip in the middle of a concrete, you know, so they cannot afford to hurt the actor, because what they need from us is this. There's a lot of stuff I can do myself, but then a lot of things I cannot risk to do it. Otherwise, I might break my head or my neck landing if I miss my landing, you know?
So no wingsuits on camera, at least.
No, exactly.
So you fought Cap and you fought Falcon. Is there a Marvel superhero you'd like to be on screen with? Doesn't necessarily have to fight with them, but probably you would fight with them. Who would you like to go up against?
Well, have you seen Batroc was back for vengeance. You know, he likes to win. And when you see him take on Captain America, he's using a lot of savate move, because that's his background in martial art. However, the difference is, when he fought the Falcon, he has improved. The reason why I'm saying that is, in fighting, we're always saying that you never fight the same fighter twice. You might fight the same name twice, but not the same fighter. Every fight leaves a scar. Could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. In the case of Batroc, it was a good thing, because when he fought the Falcon, we see him perform what we call it's a technique called a double leg takedown slams. It's a technique that we use in jiu-jitsu and wrestling. It's not a savate technique. So that means that he has improved his fighting skills, because he knows he's going up against superhero, and he need always to improve as a fighter, and use like he does always the element of surprise, because he does not have superpower. He just have very strong legs because of his previous training in Olympic lifting. That's why we call him the leaper, because he can jump so high.
That's amazing. Is there a favorite hero that you have in the Marvel Universe?
Oh yeah, I have a few that I really like. I always found that the Marvel hero that does not have superpower are, for me, more charismatic, like Iron Man. What makes Iron Man so good, Robert Downey Jr. is an amazing actor, of course. But what I like about Iron Man, on top of that is an incredible actor that portray him, is the fact that he does not have superpower. And what makes him so good is that he's smart. You know, that's what I like about that. You know, he's a normal human being, but he just used technology to accomplish and do his stuff. You know, and Batroc is the same way. He's a villain, but does not have superpower. He used gadgets and different tactics to take on the superheroes.
Well, you didn't die in Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and you haven't died in the first episode of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Are we seeing Batroc again?
Well, one thing I can say is that from now on, my brigade and I will be ready, and we'll make sure the Falcon, if we ever cross paths, doesn't not get lucky like this ever again.
Very good. Very good.
I never trash talk in my professional career as a fighter. Now I can trash talk as an actor now. It's a lot more fun. So Falcon, watch out.
Watch your back, Falcon. What's it like to work on the show compared to the film? Did it feel the same, or was it a little bit different?
It was, to me, it feels like it was a 6-hour long movie. That's how it feels to me. The budget they have, it's just incredible. It's as big as it gets, and to be able to work with, to be in Captain America, I was with the Russo brother, and they really helped me. You know, because at that time I didn't know really much about acting. You know, I didn't take class. I was focusing on my professional MMA career. Now it's been 2 years that I work very hard on my acting skills every week, you know, to improve it, to be able to deliver for the fans. And I had the chance once again to work with an incredible director like Carrie Scroglin was amazing to me. She gave me great guidance and was able to provide me with good knowledge in order to perform the task better, you know, as a character, in order to make my emotion come out and make me look more ruthless.
Well, you were great. It was a great surprise, and I'm so happy for you. Continued success. Keep kicking ass, GSP. You rock, man.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
What a treat that was. Thank you to my friends at Disney for hooking us up. It was really cool to talk with Georges St-Pierre. Wonderful guy, and as you can tell, he's very, very grateful that he's been given this amazing opportunity to be a part of the MCU, and he really has kicked butt. I loved seeing him in Captain America, the Winter Soldier. He was a great, cameo, big surprise that he was there, and then I was quite shocked when I saw him in the first episode, so I was very happy to jump on a Zoom call with him and have him in Electric Playground. Very cool stuff. That's going to do it for the rundown today, everybody. I'll be back on Monday with a fresh episode for you. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to all of our subscribers, and thank you especially to all of our EPN members. We will see you soon, and until then, play forever.